The second step is basically a proposal about what the nature of that something is, right? Which is obviously the name of the theory. It's data and logic, where data is non-contingent, uninterpreted information, and logic is consistent relational structure. Yeah. So that, I think, is real. There's lots of reasons to think that identification makes sense, but actually, how I initially came to it was by starting with the cogito, because that seemed to me to be not the most sure thing I could conceive of. Yeah. But however, I don't actually agree that with the conclusion that, I doubt, therefore I think, therefore I am, so thus I exist. To me, because of considerations like, Descartes' demon and the Matrix, the concept I, could be totally uncoupled from what the true nature of things. So really, the only thing you are justified, I think, from concluding from that is something. There has to be something that's true. There has to be something that exists in order that I can be here experiencing this, thinking, doubting, specifically. Yeah, and then it's just, like I said, it's a question of what the nature of that something is. And what I tried to do was just basically ask myself what are the presuppositions without which the cogito wouldn't stand, basically, and it seems like to be as general as possible, I think, right, it's an example of some data. There's some data, right? And then obviously, thus, therefore, these are implications of logic, right? And so then for me, it's a question of trying to spell out what are the assumptions entailed by, for instance, the use of logic, something like that. Which, in the theory, I go on to explain, like, the way I contextualize logic as a subjective system of reasoning is as a derivative consequence of the structural regularity of the world. And in some sense, that seems, it's like, duh, because, obviously evolution would predispose us to map the sort of the regularities that are actually there. And then that's what we would, obviously that would become the basis of whatever we call logic.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's step two.
That's step two,